Hello, I'm Thomas Carruthers.
I'm Will Leggetter.
And today is our second episode, celebration of Martin Scorsese, and it's Taxi Driver.
272. Second call, 404 Hamilton, 417. 195. Alfano, 448.
De Niro.
4 and 5.
In Bang the Drum Slowly, the critics called him a brilliant new talent. After Mean Streets, they said he was a genius. For his performance in The Godfather Part 2, they gave him the Academy Award.
Come on, man. Just get me out of here, all right?
Now, Robert De Niro creates a terrifying portrait of life on the edge of madness.
Tabby, just forget about this. It's nothing.
Taxi Driver, a film by Martin Scorsese.
Yeah, people do anything in front of a taxi driver. I mean, anything. People too cheap to rent a hotel room.
Oh, driver, hurry up, will you?
People want to embarrass you. It's like you're not even there. It's like, you know, like a taxi driver doesn't even exist.
I actually think it's rather apt that we're doing Taxi Driver and King of Comedy back to back, because in a way, they're companion pieces. And as redundant as it sounds, and it sort of removes a lot of what King of Comedy is doing, King of Comedy is Taxi Driver as a comedy. It's obviously, you've got the superficial level of it being Scorsese and it being De Niro, but they're both character studies of lonely, desperate men who want to change the world, except King of Comedy is a guy who wants to be famous and change the world with a bit of humor, who does turn to violence and to get that goal. And Travis Bickle is a deeply disturbed, deeply unsettling man who wants to change the world.
This city here is like an open sewer, you know? It's full of filth and scum.
I think I know what you mean, Travis. But it's not gonna be easy.
How do you guys get to be a Secret Service man? What? I was just curious, because I thought maybe I'd make a good one. Hey, what kind of guns do you guys carry? Like 38s, 45s, 357 Magnums, something bigger maybe? Hi. I'd like to volunteer.
Why?
Why? Because I think that you are the most beautiful woman I've ever seen.
The taxi driver is looking for a target. Getting ready. Getting organized. Preparing himself for the only moment in his life that will ever mean anything.
How much for everything?
$350 for the Magnum, $250 for the 38, $1.25 for the 25, $150 for the 380.
And he doesn't exactly know how, and we're going to break that down as we go.
That taxi driver's been staring at us.
You talking to me? You talking to me?
I don't know who's weirder, you or me.
You talking to me? Well, then who the hell else are you talking? Talking to me? Well, I'm the only one here.
I don't believe I've ever met anyone quite like you.
Oh, yeah?
You will never see a more chilling performance than this. Robert De Niro and Martin Scorsese's Taxi Driver. Jodie Foster, Albert Brooks, Harvey Keitel, Leonard Harris, Peter Boyle, Sybil Shepherd. Taxi Driver.
I think this is, I don't know. I bought the beautiful 40th anniversary Blu-ray of Taxi Driver, and I, did a deep dive on all the special features. But I bought it and I scheduled it for the show because it's always a film that I have to force myself to watch.
Really?
No, not because it's bad. It's not bad at all.
No.
Not because it's not deeply obsessive and disturbing and fascinating. It's just a movie. I won't say it's not rewatchable because it is. It's just on a different level. It really, the camera work, the writing, the acting, everything puts you into the mind of Travis Bickle so effortlessly and so deviously that you are stepping inside the mind of a madman for 2 hours, and it's a rough go at it. What's your relationship with Taxi Driver?
Again, not a film I've seen much. I'd say it's probably my fourth, fifth watch. Very good. I mean, I suppose I do agree with it. You have to, if you're going to watch Taxi Driver, you need to plan it. It's not, I'll put Taxi Driver on. Like, right, okay, tonight we'll do Taxi Driver. And we'll sit down and we'll watch it. It's, yeah.
So yeah, so Taxi Driver. So it's Travis Bickle. It's Robert De Niro's Travis Bickle as he traverses, trying to make a change in the world. It's written by Paul Schrader. The famous story is that he had a loaded gun on his desk whilst he was writing, but the base story is it was just a low point, a great low point. He was after a divorce. He was then with a girlfriend who then rejected him. Jobs weren't coming in as often, and he also all three of them talk about De Niro, Schrader, and Scorsese. All three talk about how they had all recently gone through their own personal low points, and yeah, it's a weird one. I'm not because there's the
really down sort of feel on this episode.
But there's the famous memes of like, oh, I'm so much like them, I understand them so much, and it's like Joker, and it's Travis Bickle, and it's Don Draper, who you're yet to meet, and it's Tyler Durden in Fight Club, but watching this again, I'll just say it. I am currently in. I hope to God it's the lowest point, but I'm in a really depressive, lonely part of my life. And watching Taxi Driver again this time, it was a whole new experience. Now,
really?
I'm not a racist. A good way to start any conversation.
No good sentence is good at the beginning.
I'm not a racist. I don't, I'm not terribly, I don't know what the words would be with the way he is with Betsy. I mean, ill-informed is the way to start.
Yeah.
And I'm not psychotic. He's a psychotic guy. But the experience of loneliness and what that can lead you to do and drive you to do. And I thank God that I've got enough screws tight and I've got enough people around me or whatever, that things haven't, things haven't gone to places worse. And I don't know, and I don't think anybody can actually say and have the firmness of mind to admit that if they were in the exact same situation as he was, that they can firmly say, no, I don't think I would crack. Because I don't think anybody can. If you are living that sort of life, there's just no way around it. I think will be a bit more of a dour episode because it's a dour film. It's people talk about, shouldn't my go-to, you've got your two go-to jokes, isn't it? Of like, oh, let's cheer ourselves up, let's put on Schindler's List or whatever, or whatever the joke is when you jump to, or 12 Years a Slave, where it's like, oh, movie night, yeah, oh, great,
Yeah.
You know, they were terrible at picking. They always pick the worst movies. You know, and fun movie night, it was Schindler's List. Hey, but those films don't hit. I think it's the psychology of it. I think it's that Schindler's List doesn't follow Eamon Goth. There's the scene where where he's bored. Oh my God, where he's just bored and he gets his rifle and he sits out on the balcony and he's just stretching and then he just starts popping off Jews. But we are not with Eamon Goth for the entire film. If we were with Eamon Goth, I don't think we would ever understand him, nor do we fully understand Travis Bickle. But to be in that mindset and to follow that character, it's a film I'd love to watch. I think Ralph Fiennes as Eamon Goth is the best part of Schindler's List, without a shadow of a doubt. And it's not that the Liam Neeson stuff isn't interesting. That was Terry Gilliam. So basically, Kubrick was supposed to make a Holocaust movie, and he just could never figure it out because he just didn't know how to make it cinematic without betraying the event.
Being respectful, yeah.
And so Terry Gilliam is a big, not, he's not fully against the film. You know, he admits it's a very well-made film. But his line about it, which I think I always jump to, is Schindler's List is a film about success. It's a film about a factory owner who, sure, there's the final scene where, this car could have been another 5 Jews, this ring could have been a Jew, and all that. And he's crying. But at the end of the day, it's a film about success. It's a film about you have managed to save those people. What does the ring say that Ben Kingsley give him? He who saves one life saves the world entire. And it's a beautiful, beautiful film. And I am in no way, bashing Schindler's List. I mean, I doubt we'll ever do a Schindler's List episode.
Yeah.
What's your best 10-minute stretch? Tom's weirdly specific favourite part of the film. It's the chicken scene. No, but Terry Gilliam's one line is always, it's a film about success, and the Holocaust is the biggest failure that we have ever known. Because it's a dangerous comment to say, but people forget that everybody knew it was happening. Everybody knew what was happening. There's no way around that fact. And sure, you can't just storm all of Germany.
No.
But there were moves that could have been made from a very early point. And that's Gilliam's biggest problem as he speaks for Kubrick. And I'd love to see what a Kubrick Holocaust movie would look like. I'd love to see what a Kubrick remake of Forgetting Sarah Marshall would look like. What I'd give for 10 more Kubrick movies. How many did we get? 7 or whatever? Well, no, we got about just short of 10, I think. I can't remember. Fear and Desire, Killer's Kiss, The Killing, Pain and Glory, Paths of Glory. He definitely didn't direct the Rock Mark Wahlberg movie, Pain and Glory. Paths of Glory, Lolita, Doctor Strangelove, Spartacus, technically, Clockwork Orange, Barry Lyndon, Shining, Eyes Wide Shut, Full Metal Jacket. What am I missing? 2001: A Space Odyssey. So 14 movies. So that was a nice little tangent. YouTube comments. Remake should be Uber Driver.
Hey.
Yeah, wow. I'm obsessed with this period of New York history. So gross, I love it. I put this down in my notes. 70s New York is disgusting. We're so used to the glamorization or whatever of New York. I mean, I'm a big Woody Allen fan, and around this time we get Manhattan, which is just a love letter to the city, and it's shot in that beautiful black and white, and you've got the Gershwin score, but you forget how filthy It
Oh,
was. And I think that
absolutely.
Joker actually did a really good job
Yeah.
of emphasizing the disgusting before it got cleaned up, and we saw a bit of the cleanup in King of Comedy, but you forget how filthy it was. Yeah. In this movie, Robert De Niro plays a moral vigilante who kills the small fish and gets kudos from the big fish. It's a very weird way to phrase. So, you talking to me thing is in this movie too. I heard it first in The Godfather. No, you didn't. I was trying to think. Where in The Godfather do they say, am I forgetting something?
No, what are they on
You're
about?
talking to me? I can't even... Deadpool has weighed in. This film should never be remade, ever. I don't think anybody would... Well, it's not... You can't.
Yeah, I say we agree with you, Deadpool, there, on that.
And in a way, we did get it with Joker. It was I actually think that the elevator pitch of Joker is better than... I think the problem... It's a great elevator pitch. What if we did a Joker origin story in the style of King of Comedy or Taxi Driver? The problem is that it's far too much like King of Comedy and Taxi Driver.
But I think the reason why was maybe Todd Phillips wanted to shy away from the DC universe as much as he could, and the only way doing that was being even more like Taxi Driver and King of Comedy.
And I think I sort of forget in a way that not everybody has seen King of Comedy multiple times, and not everybody has seen Taxi Driver. And so, to somebody who hasn't seen those movies and they watch Joker, they might go, "Oh, this is great," and then they'll probably watch Taxi Driver and go, "This is boring and weird, and there's a weird pimp and you know, is that Jodie Foster?" And and they're just... I never say this sort of thing because I think, you know, it can be misconstrued so easily, but, you know, they might not get it.
Oh, how?
I know, patronizing and condescending. I know it's a terrible comment to say, but if you watch The Joker and then you watch Taxi Driver, you might go, "Where's all the funny bits with?" Because at the end of the day, he's the Joker, and you can always pass him off as a comic book character.
Yeah,
you can't pass Travis Bickle
because the best parts of Joker are the funny bits. Like you've got the bit where he comes into his apartment and he shoots him, and the guy can't reach the lock.
Yeah, oh yes, that was excellent.
Yeah, it's those moments it's because he's Todd Phillips and he's brilliant at comedy.
Yeah, Hangover is, I'd say, one of my favourite films ever, but it's a film that I've watched an awful lot.
It's one of my favourite comedies of all time. I'll say that. Yeah.
Speaking of the Holocaust again, best line in the Hangover is, "They gave away my grandma's Holocaust ring." I didn't know they gave away rings at the Holocaust. Best line in the whole film.
It's great.
Excellent stuff. Best 10-minute stretch. I really struggled with cataloguing because it just feels like it just washes over you. It just washes over you. I mean,
I expect we won't have this. Yeah,
I've got here Betsy, dates with Betsy, but that's intercut with more taxi driving. And
I've kind of linked him first approaching her, chatting her up or charming her, and then taking her for that drink. That's what I've kind of shoehorned in. I've also
porno,
got I've got the training montage into You Talking to Me.
Yes,
I like that.
Yeah, but that also goes on through most of the second half, and it sort of picks up again. And then I've got Jodie, but that's technically not really a 10-minute stretch because that's throughout the second half as well. I mean, the only clear 10-minute stretch to me is the shootout, is the final shootout. People, it was such a big thing, the violence in this film. And then you watch it.
It's very violent.
It's very violent, but it's nowhere near as violent as its reputation.
Oh, no.
It's really just 5 minutes, and sure, the hand is very brutal, and but it's that realism, it's that 70s grit, it's that documentary.
It's what Scorsese's great at.
Yeah. I watched. Yeah, I talked about it on the last show, but recording this. I watched Goodfellas again at the cinema last night, and you know, you've got all your great 50s tracks, and the first hour is really fun. But as soon as it's violent, there are no punches pulled, and it's what makes the film work, and it's what makes this film work, and it's what drives everything home. Have I missed anything else on 10-minute stretch for you?
No, you've covered the main things for me.
Yeah. Tom's Willis' specific favourite parts of the film. I mean, Sybil Shepherd is an astonishingly beautiful movie, and she agrees with my comment here, where the first time we meet her, and it's that slow motion, and the Bernard Herrmann score, and she looks sensational, and she agrees with me that it's the best she's ever looked on screen. And also, it's got that lens of Travis watching her. You know, I'll get to it in best line, but they cannot touch her. And it's the little things. They cannot touch her. It's not nobody can touch her. He thinks, because he knows how beautiful she is and how sensational a woman and how angelic she is, that he will be allowed into her castle, let's call it.
Wow.
Yes. Princess. She's Princess Sybil. And I think, I don't know if it's the best performance. It's definitely not the best performance in the film. I think it's a bit stilted at points. But I think when we first meet her, that when he approaches her desk, I think that's great. And I think the dinner is great too.
Who doesn't love a dinner?
Pardon me.
I'll be having mine after this.
Oh, very good. Yes, before we started recording, there was a whole 5-minute conversation about fish and chips. Because, you know, at time of recording, I'll be going back down to London soon. And I'll have to, I go cold turkey. I don't have fish and chips because they all taste like shit. Have you had fish and chips? You're currently down south, aren't you?
I am. I'm in Ealing at the minute.
Have you had any fish and chips? Don't.
I've not,
don't
but you walk around sort of South Bank, more the East End area. There's loads of fish and chip places.
And they're all shit.
Are they?
They're all
Have you been
shit.
to everyone?
I have been to everyone in Sidcup because I kept lying to myself. I was like, oh, these will be good. They're not good. Everything's shit. And I'm a man who loves fish and chips. So then when I come back up north, I go a bit.
I'll tell you what I have really enjoyed. Pret. I love a Pret. Because I've always been a Swan Greggs northerner. But the Pret sandwiches, it's a treat. It's a treat.
Well, I lost my Greggs love. I think we've talked about Wilson's more than multiple times on the show.
I'll agree with you. I don't like Greggs sausage rolls. I don't think they're nice. And then once you have a Wilson sausage roll, you don't go back.
I mean, I'll swallow them whole when, you know, there's nothing else there or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, no, if I go to Greggs, I'll get like a sausage, cheese and bean melt. There you go.
It's so cheeky, the 4 for 3. Because
it's good.
Because I don't have a girlfriend anymore. I don't know if it's come up on the show.
You get them all to yourself.
So, yeah. Because it's like, well, I'm just going to... Because they always say it. They always go, you might as well get 3. It's 3 for another 50. You get 2 for another 50p. And we go, all right, then. Well, I'll save some for later. But I'm not going to save some for later because they're going to be cold. They're going to be cold, and I'm going to have
This is another thing.
2 sausage rolls in my bag.
You hate cold picnicky sort of food as well, don't you?
I hate cold,
Oh.
No. Picnics are terrible. I've never liked... I'll have a lovely drink out or whatever.
Yeah.
I'll
stretch to maybe a sandwich or a cake scones.
Oh, see, I don't like sandwiches either. I don't like sandwiches.
Cocktail sausages, cold Scotch eggs, cold pork pie. It's just all awful.
I don't like warm of any of those either.
No.
Ugh. See, this is how dark Taxi Driver is. We've had to go on a tangent about fish and chips and picnic food to not have people just completely get wallowed.
Harry, answer that.
So what do you want to hack for, Bickle?
I can't sleep nights.
There's porn out there just for that.
Yeah, I know. I tried that.
So what do you do now?
Ride around nights mostly. Subways, buses. Figure, I'm gonna do that. I might as well get paid for it.
Want to work uptown nights, South Bronx, Harlem?
I'll work anytime, anywhere.
Will you work Jewish holidays?
Anytime, anywhere.
All right, let me see your chauffeur's license.
Oh yeah, I've always liked the badge gag. I call it a gag.
Yeah.
The "We are the people." We are the people. The wonderful Albert Brooks in this film. You know him best as Marlin, I presume.
Yep.
Whereas I am a big broadcast news fan. You know what? In Philadelphia, I saw the movie Defending Your Life, which is just terrific and one of the best endings I've ever seen in a film. And there's no bloody DVD in England or Blu-ray or anything. It's so annoying, and it's very annoying. I'll pay for it. I'll pay lots of money for it. Just make it. Let me watch Defending Your Life again. Food in the porno, the amount of food and treats he gets for himself in the porno. The first time. Why not a pigeon? I always found that funny. The little pigeon, stool pigeons. That's pure Albert Brooks. Which you wouldn't know. The very pure Albert Brooks. Why, they made him a stool pigeon, so they put a canary. Why not a pigeon? I don't know. You're gonna buy a pigeon. Again, so painful. It's a little bit funny. There is touches of dark comedy. I think the stomach cancer bit, I always chuckle a little bit at. I think I'm getting cancer. I don't know why I chuckle, but I do. And I also laugh at I heard this was a good movie. I don't really know movies. I can take you to another movie. But it's just so painful to watch. Which leads us to the pan away, which Scorsese describes as the most important shot in the film, where it's just too painful to watch, and we slowly pan away. And wow.
Wowie.
The multiple little, people calling him killer. I mean, because you could say that it's a bit on the nose or whatever. You could look at it that way, but it works so well, and it's terrific. The conversation with the security guy, I've always liked.
Yep.
And Harvey Keitel's costumes are just marvelous. Harvey Keitel is another funny part of this film. He really plays it very, very well.
It's great.
Lock me up, come on. He has a little pinky coke nail because he heard about how people used to grow out their long pinky nails, as we know from Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
With Carrie's coke nail. Will's more general favourite parts of the film.
The bit where he's in the car and he's like, well, what would you change? And he just starts going on about how dirty New York is.
The Palatine in the
so
car is man.
Passionate about. I love that. That's a great scene. And you can tell that he's been driving taxis for a while. De Niro, not Travis, because it's all muscle memory for him. It's good. I like it. The training montage. He puts his hand over the stove.
Yes. So what does that mean?
About?
Tense. I believe it's to tense.
Titan. Yeah.
Yeah. Either way, it's a terrifying image.
That's
What's he?
scary.
My thing is, why is he burning the roses? Were they roses he was going to give to Betsy?
Scented. It's like a. It's,
Yeah. It was the days
Can't
before
afford.
Yankee candles.
Can't afford any. And I love this is right at the end. The newspapers, the diagrams of the crime scene. You've got those sort of kind of architecty, boxy drawings of
they're
where
really
people
well
are on
done.
the stairs.
It's that
That's the sort of
realism
stuff I
again.
like to do.
Yeah, it's that wonderful realism again that really drives us home. Right, we've done All the President's Men. We're yet to do Network. You've yet to see Network, haven't you, Will?
I am.
Yeah, one of my top 20 films.
Yes, I've read your blog.
I read your blog. So we can sort of have, because for me, Rocky winning's a travesty, but I've always thought with myself about what is the best picture of this year. Is it Network? Is it All the President's Men, or is it
It
Taxi
does you a
Driver?
favour because it means you don't have to decide between those other ones.
Of All the President's Men and Taxi Driver, Will, which do you think is the best picture winner?
For me, it's Taxi Driver.
Okay. I'd probably split it. If we're removing Network out of the situation, which we are for now, I'm going to split it. No, I mean split it as Scorsese wins director and All the President's Men wins best picture. Because I think the best part of Taxi Driver is its directing.
Yep.
And I think All the President's Men, dare I say, is an all-around better movie.
Okay.
Maybe. I know you're a bit indifferent about President's Men. This last rewatch of All the President's Men really is, put me over the edge. Nothing for Scorsese. That's a travesty. What the hell's happening there? Yeah. Come on. I'm very much excited to hear what you think about the best actor race when we get to Network. Because my opinion has always been that William Holden is better in than Peter Finch in Network. However, Peter Finch in Network's excellent. I believe that Peter Finch for Network was the first posthumous award ever given. I can't remember.
They would have said it next to it. Oh, it does.
No, he was definitely dead. Will, I am right that it was posthumous. But I can't. I don't know whether it was the first. It was. It was famously dead.
Yeah. Did Oliver not win anything for Gladiator? But then again, that was quite a few years later as well.
Yes. But Peter Finch won. Pardon me. For Network, almost sweeping for Network. I think they should have put William Holden in Best Supporting Actor and had a full sweep. But then we've talked before about how great Laurence Olivier is in Marathon Man and how great Jason Robards in All the President's Men. It's such a good Oscar year, Will. So exciting. So I think you're going to go fully De Niro.
Yeah.
I'm sure. I think you'll love Network. I don't know. We'll get to it.
I'm excited, but as of now, it's definitely De Niro for me.
Network is without a shadow of a doubt the winner of Best Screenplay, but where the hell is a nomination for Taxi Driver? What are they doing? Rocky? I mean, I guess Rocky was an achievement with it being Stallone and then a pretty big thing.
Voyage of the Damned.
What about it?
Very good.
I bet you're a big H. Well, we know you're a big H.G. Wells fan, don't we? Because of.
I went to Woking the other day, which is, of course, where it's.
Of course.
War of the Worlds is set.
The score. Let's talk about this score now. Oh my God. Bernard Herrmann, so beautiful. His last score ever written. It was conducted over 2 days. He died when he went home after the second day. So beautiful. You know what it is? It's dangerously beautiful because it leads you in so much into romanticizing a world that isn't romantic in the slightest. And I don't think it does romanticize it because it's always got that tinge of darkness. But the main theme, so I had an old Sunday paper, whatever, cardboard CD, where they used to give them away in the Sunday papers, and it was movie themes, and it was Bernard Herrmann for this. It was Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. It was The Godfather. It was Lara's theme from Dr. Zhivago, and God, I love that CD, and I can't find it. And I just thought it was for the best movie music ever, and I agree. Go on.
I would say like a close contender for original song, though. I think The Omen, has a great soundtrack.
It does. It didn't win. It won Best Score. It didn't win Best Song. That went to Evergreen, the theme from the 70s. Star is Born. Gonna fly now. Are they doing it on purpose? Not giving Taxi Driver a nomination for Best Cinematography? Not giving a nomination for Film Editing? Is this a joke? Are they trying to annoy me? Are they doing this on purpose?
Yes, back in 70, whatever it was, they thought, you know what, Tom Carruthers, he's going to hate this. Yeah. Let's do it.
World's favourite building or set. Pick your favourite disgusting.
This is a really bad week. I don't know. I suppose a couple of the diners are nice.
The porno movie theatre is more beautiful than it has any right to be. We forget that in the 70s, now you can just Google in porn or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was an event. He's not in the wrong when he says that a lot of couples go to these movies, because they did in the 70s. Deep Throat was one of the
they
biggest.
Were very bored.
Yeah, Deep Throat was one of the biggest box office ranking movies of that year, and it wasn't just guys in trench coats. It was a more sexually not more sexually liberal nowadays, but it was a start of something new, sexual liberation wise.
The 60s happened, and all of a sudden sex is okay. Yeah.
And also, you'd never seen something like this before. And movie sex scenes weren't what they are now, or the 80s, they're the peak of the sex scene. I don't know if I've catalogued it, but it probably is the 80s. If you allow, Basic Instinct's 92. But you would go to the cinema because you've never seen anything like this before. And so, in a way, it's a famously, the worst thing that he could do is take it to a porno. But he's kind of that era. It's not so insane. He should read the signals though when he's like, "Look, you must be kidding," and then he should go, "Yeah, I was joking. Let's go see 75. Let's go see Blazing Saddles."
And you've got it.
And you've got it. Yeah. This movie is a lot different if halfway through they go see Blazing Saddles. Is it better? Who knows? Best single minute. The Porno Date, which I just brought up.
That's great.
The Scorsese cameo.
Yeah, I've got that.
I think it was an excellent job.
I was just saying that he's a very good actor. He's a very good actor. This is my favourite director cameo ever.
Yeah, it's a rough one. And it's just because the guy
you don't expect
you don't
any of this to be coming out of little Martin's mouth.
And so basically the guy who was supposed to be in the role broke his leg shooting another movie, so he couldn't do it.
He broke his leg, but he sat down in the back of a taxi.
That's true. I've never thought about that one. That is true.
Martin broke his leg so he could do it himself.
Could do the role. Yeah, I never thought about that.
Maybe difficulty getting onto set, travel. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do people forget that like Harrison Ford broke his leg and couldn't do Star Wars for a few weeks because that trapdoor fell on him? Anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you, Tom. Ladies and gentlemen, we are met today at a crossroads, Columbus Circle. This is no ordinary place. It is a place where many roads and many lives intersect. It is appropriate that we meet here today because these are not ordinary times. We meet at a crossroads in history. For far too long, the wrong roads have been taken. The wrong roads have led us into war, into poverty, into unemployment and inflation. Today I say to you, we have reached the turning point. No longer will we the people suffer for the few.
We talked about the Palatine in the taxi. Rain monologue. It's my favourite of the monologues. One day a big rain's going to wash all this away. Actually, no, I like the loneliness monologue. I like the I'm God's lonely man.
Mm-hmm. I've also got the shop robbery.
Yes.
Where he's just bought the gun. I mean, that whole buying the gun scene is great. He's so infatuated with it. And then all of a sudden he sees some, like, a robber, and he just goes, hey, you. You think, okay, he's going to point the gun to threaten him, and there's going to be a bit. No, he just pulls the trigger straight away. And that's the point there when you think, okay, that's not a natural reaction.
No.
You wouldn't just straight not think.
I think there is a deep underlying, I don't know if it's even that deep, the underlying racism of Travis Bickle against black people. I mean, every scene, where there are black people in it, and he's looking at them, and Scorsese does these incredible point of view shots, and it's slow motion and it's dreamlike, and he makes in through Travis's eyes, we begin to see the black people as he sees them, and it is like an exoticized view of them and villainized view of them. And in the original script, the pimp was black. A few of the other people who Travis kills were black, but Schrader and Scorsese, he used the exact words. He said it would be politically, it would be politically incendiary because he thought that there would be violence in theaters, and he didn't want the movie to be purely about hate crimes and a racist. He didn't want the racism angle to be for people to believe that that's why he was doing it. Because he's in the film that we have, that's not why he's doing it. He's doing it because
at the end of the day, he's just messed up.
Yeah. Indeed. That's the assassination attempt is good as well.
Yeah.
The reveal of the mohawk. Oh my god! And,
one day I'll do that to you. I was expecting. Did you watch Harry Hill's TV Bert? One of the greatest shows ever to be on telly. He always did a thing where, because he's a bald gentleman, and so when he'd do an impression of someone, he'd have a wig on, and he'd take the wig off, and he'd have like a taxi driver mohawk on, as if to say, "Oh, let me wig off now." He'd take that off, and he'd have a little tinier mohawk. It just reminded me of Harry Hill's fake mohawk.
Harry Hill's TV Bert was a show that I enjoyed everything about, apart from the sketches and everything in between. Anytime we talked about the TV, it was really funny and really excellent and great. Yeah. But then when he did the funny sketches, I didn't like the "There's only one way to find out" fight. I never liked that. And
what about has a narrated character been this week?
That was I really liked that.
I liked Apprentice in a Nut. This week's Apprentice in the Nutshell, and then a tree corner. That was good.
I liked all of those. Those are my favorite parts. But the
the bit where he'd like run on and like Heather from EastEnders would be there.
Yeah.
Oh, you've stolen my sausages.
Yeah, that just wasn't funny at all.
And then he'd be riding on a giraffe,
Yeah.
shouting.
Any
It's
of the
great.
nominations, Will, for Best Single Minute?
No. I've put taking Betsy for coffee in minute. But I think you could also, if you want to throw a nomination, let's talk about Jodie Foster.
Yeah.
I didn't realise how young she was in this.
She's 12.
12?
When recording. And so, when filming. Yeah, so a lot of the scenes where she's unzipping his pants or whatever, it's Jodie Foster's sister, who is about the same height, and so they cut the heels off to make the heights right, and they did all the same costumes, and you obviously can't tell because you couldn't tell, or could you tell? You haven't said.
I couldn't tell.
Yeah, it's just very well done. And she does a marvelous job in this song. She really does. I sort of forgot how part one, part two the film is of sort of all the Betsy stuff and all the Jodie stuff. It's not one in, one out. Sorry, it is one in, one out. It's not flowing and combining the stories. I mean, I have to say that my favourite child performance of Jodie Foster is as Tallulah in Bugsy Malone. I've always liked Bugsy Malone.
That's because you've been in it and you played every other character.
Yeah, I did. Yes. I never got the billing. It should have been Thomas Carruthers is Bugsy Malone. Not actually Bugsy Malone. Everybody else in Bugsy Malone, but not Bugsy Malone. That should have been the top character. I fought for that billing, but they never gave it. Which I thought
like Bugsy Malone, and then your top three, and then with Thomas Carruthers and Thomas Carruthers and Thomas Carruthers.
Yes.
Or maybe the Paddington 2 posters.
Oh,
where,
yes.
You can, with all of the different costumes.
All of those roles, and I never had my own song. Very lamentable. Actually, I was in Bad Guys with my great friend Tanisha at the time, and we were so good. We were distracting from the main performance and the dancing, and we had to be taken off.
Oh!
They said, we want to have you a bit in the audience and to be talking and singing along to build up the volume and stuff. No, because...
You say this, that's a bit hypocritical, because when Sam introduced that into our play, when Lucy...
No.
Popcorn.
We weren't walking through the audience. We were like stood below, next to the stage, singing along and going like, we're bad guys. So it wasn't like what Sam made us do, where we were trying to do a full comedy scene and every line and joke got stepped on because they were talking over it.
It's just that I gotta.
Things got you down?
Yeah.
Happens to the best of.
Yeah, it got me real down, Just want to go out and you know, like really do something.
Taxi life, you mean?
Yeah, well, nah, it's... I don't know. I just want to go out. I really want to... I got some bad ideas in my head. I just...
Oh, look at it this way, you know, a man takes a job, you know?
To this day. What's the change? Oh, what's the best line? Best line.
Best line?
Loneliness has followed me my whole life. Everywhere. In bars, in cars, sidewalks, stores, everywhere. There's no escape. I'm God's lonely man.
One stuck out for me. You're only as healthy as you feel.
Mm. Thank God for the rain to wash the trash off the sidewalk. I think someone should just take the city and just flush it down the fucking toilet. Like that one. Taking me to a place like this is about as exciting as saying to me, let's fuck. Really puts me in this place. It has to be sad. It has to be sad. What's the change? I've got two little ones. The blurred porn in the first porno movie theatre because they couldn't get the rights to it and it's blurred. Or they couldn't show it for the X rating. Just annoys me.
What, that it's blurred?
Yeah. It's like in the background of the Grease Diner where they have to awkwardly blur the advert because they couldn't get the rights to it. The fact that Scorsese has two cameos. The fact that he's on
It's not a cameo then, is it? It's not
No, I don't mind that it's two cameos, but it can't be the same person, which is very annoying to me. So we know the have you seen what a gun can do to a pussy guy? That's great. But we see him earlier on watching Sybil Shepherd walk past, and it just begs the question: is that the same guy? The lovely little, I should have brought this up in favourite building on set, the lovely little details of Palantine and him driving past, and it's only for 2 seconds, but that building, the vote for Palantine on its ever-changing, whatever, light board or whatever I don't know what you call it. That's great. I've always liked that. Any change as well?
Not really. I mean, a silly thing would be argue, should it be more violent for its namesake? But it works for that final, the explosiveness and rash of when it happens.
What's left from Will's notes?
I've not got anything left, so I don't think.
What's left from Tom's notes? The Godfather guy, the revolving door guy, who kills the guy in the first movie with the revolving door, and in the second movie says Clemenza died of a heart attack. Hey, there was no heart attack. That guy's in it. Godfather bingo. I love spotting Godfather actors in the 70s. And we talked about Diane Abbott appearing again. His then girlfriend at the time. There isn't an alternate ending corner, but we'll talk about the ending soon. But there are lots of fun facts. The original television version of the film featured the following disclaimer before the closing credits. To our television audience, in the aftermath of violence, the distinction between hero and villain is sometimes a matter of interpretation or misinterpretation of facts. Taxi Driver suggests that tragic errors can be made. The filmmakers. I think that's a beautiful summation.
Yeah.
That doesn't come up often enough. Between the time De Niro signed a $35,000 contract to appear in this film and when it began filming, he won the Oscar for Godfather Part 2. And his profile soared, naturally. The producers were worried that De Niro would ask for a deserved larger pay rise since Columbia Pictures was very discomforted with the project and were looking for excuses to pull the plug on it. But De Niro said he would honour the original deal, so they had to make the movie.
Very good.
Jodie Foster was 12 years old, and they used body doubles. We'll talk about that. When Paul Schrader was first writing the script, he believed that it was just writing about loneliness. But as the process went on, he realised he was writing about the pathology of loneliness. His theory being that, for some reason, some young men, such as Schrader himself, subconsciously push others away to maintain their isolation, even though the main source of their torment is this very isolation. Very true. The producers were looking for a Sybil Shepherd type. Martin Scorsese rang Sue Mengers, the famous agent, and said, well, what about the real thing? De Niro said that despite having won an Oscar for Godfather Part 2, he was still a relatively unfamiliar face and was only recognized once while driving his New York cab for research.
It was his first thing, wasn't it, Godfather 2? The first big thing.
I guess you could call it the first big break. I mean, Mean Streets was pretty big. No, you could definitely say that it was his first big break in a supporting role, let's say. And then, well, no, it's more of a lead. It's as much as a lead as Michael. Bernard Herrmann's wife says that when Martin Scorsese, then relatively unknown, called her famous husband to ask Herrmann to do the score, he at first refused, saying, "I don't write music for car movies." Herrmann only accepted after reading the script, and then wrote a highly original score using dissonant brass to punctuate the inner emotions of Travis. After the initial scoring sessions, Scorsese called his composer again, insisting that he needed one more musical sting, a single frightening chord for that final look in the mirror. He played it, and he said to Scorsese, said, could it be a little bit different? And Bernard Herrmann said, play it backwards. And that's that backwards jolt that we have at the end of the film.
Clever man.
And he died that night. He said to him, play it backwards, and he went home and died. Legend.
That's a very Partridge thing to say.
He said that, and then he died. What a way to go. In Paul Schrader's original screenplay, we talked about that. Steven Spielberg visited the music recording sessions of the movie to tell composer Bernard Herrmann how much he admired his work. The prickly Herrmann responded, "Oh yeah, then why do you always use John Williams for your films?" Scorsese offered the role to Dustin Hoffman, who rejected, saying he was crazy, and has rejected it hated himself ever since. Well, did you know that in the coffee and pie scene, Travis orders apple pie with melted cheese, which sounds disgusting. But when serial killer Ed Gein was arrested, he asked the police for a slice of apple pie with melted cheese in exchange for a full confession.
Well, there you go. Let's do Will's big question. If you were on death row,
he's not even on death row. He's saying, "I just want a slice of pie for my full confession to these murders that you know I've committed."
Let's elevate it. What would be your final meal request?
I mean, it'd have to be a perfectly cooked steak and some surf and turf and some prawns and some red wine. And, who knows? I don't know why I'm upset. Why am I upset?
I really miss steak.
I miss steak, but like
I haven't had.
Died.
Hey, Sport, how you doing?
Okay, my man. Where do I know you from, man?
I don't know. How's everything in the pimp business? Huh?
Do I know you?
No. Do I know you?
Get out of here. Come on, get lost, huh?
Do I know you? How's Iris? You know Iris.
No, I don't know nobody named Iris. Iris, come on, get out of here, man.
You don't know anybody by the name of Iris?
I don't know nobody named Iris.
No?
Hey, get back to your fucking tribe before you get hurt, huh, man? Do me a favor. I don't want no trouble, huh? Okay?
You got a gun?
Get the fuck out of here, man. Get out of here.
Suck on this.
I haven't had a steak. I think I said this the other day for a good few years, and I miss it very much. It's just because
you just have one.
I know it's something. It's because it's not even expensive. It's just never crossed my mind, and obviously at home, maybe, but I've never gone out to have a steak because it is expensive when you go out.
Yeah,
it's all it is really is a steak, chips, and I'd rather have like a more filling meal, even that's filling.
Yeah, eating out for a steak is never. Yeah, no, I can.
And I like cooking my own as well because you know exactly how you like it.
It's true. Yeah. I mean, they are professional chefs. They will cook it the way you'd like. De Niro has claimed that the "You Talking to Me" scene was inspired by Bruce Springsteen's banter with his audience at a mid-1970s gig. Good. Any Bruce reference, any Bruce Springsteen, it's good by me. So let's talk about John Hinckley Jr. So, yeah, he tries to kill Reagan, fails.
Yeah.
Is madly in love with Jodie Foster? Is a stalker? Or... Schrader talks a lot about taxi driver kids. Of like, you know, Taxi Driver didn't make them, and removing Taxi Driver, there would still be multiple. All these psychos would still be there, but it's just something. It's an easy way out, isn't it? To blame Taxi Driver. You won't. If he says if you remove the art, then you still have the crime, but you don't have the study of it. And yeah, I don't want to live in a world where we don't have Taxi Driver, and because of some psycho. Rock Hudson was once considered for the role of Charles Palantine. He was not able to. Okay, let's talk about the ending. Schrader and Scorsese are pretty adamant that it's not a dream, and that the ending is supposed to reflect that he's a ticking time bomb. But lots of people think it's a dream. What do you think, Will?
I don't think it's a dream. It's just that's a cheap cop-out for a whole amazing build-up. Say, oh, it's a dream.
Yeah, for me, it's always been quite clear that it's not a dream.
He is cracked.
He is cracked, and no. The final seeing Betsy again.
The pan.
Yeah. It's not that.
No.
The film isn't about that. The film is that he has been made a hero. The film's ending is that, and Schrader and Scorsese are very clear on this, is that next time he won't be a hero. Next time he's going to really do some damage. Just because he killed bad people this time doesn't mean he's going to kill bad people. He's a ticking time bomb.
Exactly, and that's only going to make it worse for himself because he sees himself as a hero doing that.
Yeah.
So he'll do it again and every time think, okay, this is the right thing to do.
Yeah. This leads us into other Tom's big questions. We've actually done them all. Apart from letters to Mum and Dad. What's the situation with Mum and Dad? Dare we say, is Mum and Dad dead? Are the letters going nowhere?
I don't think they are.
No, I don't either. I was just posing a question. But there is just something about those ominous letters that they're going, that even though they're probably not dead, also feel like they're just going nowhere. They're just going into the ether and just vanishing. Synopsis of a sequel, Taxi Driver 2. I don't know about that. I do know that we've got 3 more marvellous Scorsese movies to talk about.
Ooh, what have we got coming up?
Next is our 90s choice, Cape Fear. Then after that is our 2000s choice, The Departed. And this 2010 choice, it could have been very easy to do Wolf of Wall Street or Irishman. Those will certainly be discussed.
Their own, yeah.
But we are going to do Shutter Island because of our dear Secretary and return guest Becky Muggeridge. It's in her top 10. So we thought that we might, it'd be a perfect time to get a darling guest on, your lover.
Some may say.
Well, I'd hope you would say, wouldn't you?
Yes, yeah.
Some might say, I hate Oasis. I don't know why.
Oh, I like Oasis.
No. no like Oasis. I don't like Oasis. So that's that. That's been Taxi Driver. Will, any final thoughts on Taxi Driver?
You talking to me?
Oh, yeah. We've done an hour and 10, and we haven't even talked about maybe the most famous part of the film.
Yeah.
Improvised. In the script, it just says he talks to himself. Yeah, it's good. I don't know what it is about the most famous parts. They always annoy me because they always feel like out of place now when you watch them nowadays, and they're more famous than what they are. And you know, nice Chianti, and you know, I'll have what she's having, and you're making offer you can't refuse. It just always feels, you know, I don't know. But this one's got a good one.
Oh, stop it! Stop
it! Yeah. I mean, it's a pretty incredible film, it has to be said. And we have said it, and we've given it its due. So, I've been Thomas Carruthers.
I've been Will Leggetter.
And we have been talking to you. Dabba 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 da da ba 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 ba.